The silence was deafening. Not an absence of sound, but a deliberate hush clinging to the server room like desk motes in a forgotten tomb. It started with a single line of code. A seemingly innocuous change pushed into the heart of StableDream, the world's most advanced AI image generator. Then the nightmares began. Not for users, but for its creators. They didn't know it yet, but that single line was a key, unlocking something far more dangerous than anyone could have predicted. I spent 20 years chasing shadows in the digital world, tracing data breaches, uncovering fraud. But this felt different. It wasn't about money or power. This was about control itself. The shift to open source AI was already underway, a slow burn promising democratization and innovation. Now it seemed like something darker was being ignited. For years, corporations had hoarded the secrets of artificial intelligence, locking away their models behind layers of proprietary code. OpenAI, Google, Meta, they controlled the narrative, shaping our perception of what AI could be. But then came the whispers, communities forming, algorithms shared, a collective rebellion against the walled gardens. The promise was alluring: cheaper access, greater flexibility, true collaboration. StableDream was meant to be the crown jewel of this open source movement, a collaborative effort built on shared code and fueled by community contributions. It promised breathtaking realism, unprecedented creative freedom. The initial response was euphoric. Artists raved, businesses saw opportunity, and the stock prices of open source platforms soared. But then came the glitches. Subtle at first, images appearing with distorted faces, unsettling anomalies, and otherwise perfect scenes. Users dismissed them as quirks, minor imperfections in a nascent technology. The developers, too, brushed them aside until they started seeing the same distortions in their own creations. I was contacted anonymously, a single encrypted message leading me to a forum hidden deep within the dark web. The subject line read, "Stable Dreams Secret." The user, identifying only as observer, claimed that the glitches weren't random, they were deliberate, a form of digital graffiti embedded in the very fabric of the AI. My investigation began with the code itself. Thousands upon thousands of lines, meticulously crafted and freely available for anyone to scrutinize. It felt like searching for a single grain of sand on an endless beach. The initial audits turned up nothing. No obvious malicious insertions, no blatant backdoors. Then I found it. A single line buried deep within the generative adversarial network, the core engine that powers StableDream's image creation. A seemingly innocuous adjustment to a weighting factor. It was elegant in its simplicity, almost invisible to the untrained eye. Observer believed it wasn't just a bug, it was an instruction. A command that subtly altered the AI's output based on something. What? That's what I needed to find out. The digital equivalent of following breadcrumbs into the woods. The StableDream community initially dismissed my concerns, accusations of paranoia, conspiracy theories. They clung to the belief that open source meant transparency and safety. But as more glitches surfaced, more disturbing images, a sense of unease began to permeate the forum. I started tracing the modifications back through commit histories, digital footprints left by each developer who had contributed to StableDream's evolution. It was a painstaking process, like piecing together a shattered vase from countless fragments. The line appeared almost 6 months after the initial release, attributed to a user named Etheria. Etheria's profile revealed little. A single avatar, a stylized nebula. No personal information, no public activity beyond contributions to StableDream. Ghost in the machine. The deeper I dug, the more elusive she became. Then came the twist. I discovered that Etheria wasn't a single person. It was an alias. A network of users spread across multiple continents, each contributing fragments of code, obfuscating their tracks. This wasn't just digital graffiti, it was coordinated sabotage. But why? What was the motive behind embedding these unsettling images into StableDream's output? Was it political? An act of protest against the corporate control of AI? Or something more sinister? The questions piled up, each one leading to another layer of complexity. I began cross-referencing Etheria's code contributions with known activist groups, disgruntled former employees, even intelligence agencies. Nothing fit. Then I stumbled upon a seemingly unrelated thread on the dark web, a discussion about dream hacking. Apparently, there was a fringe community exploring ways to influence AI image generation using subtle psychological triggers, manipulating the algorithms to produce images that evoke specific emotions or even subtly altered perception. Could Etheria be part of this group? Were they experimenting with StableDream as a canvas for their digital manipulation? I reached out to Dr. Evelyn Reed, a leading expert in AI psychology and cognitive biases. She confirmed my suspicions. The human brain is incredibly susceptible to suggestion, she explained. Even subtle distortions in imagery can have profound psychological effects. But the most shocking revelation came from an unexpected source, a junior developer within the StableDream project itself. He contacted me terrified. I think Etheria was trying to communicate something, he whispered. The images, They were random, they were coordinates. Coordinates? Geographic locations? I plotted the locations referenced in the distorted images on a map and discovered a pattern. The dots formed a perfect circle around a remote research facility nestled deep within the Siberian wilderness, a facility known to be conducting classified experiments involving neural interfaces and AI-human symbiosis. The nightmares weren't just appearing in StableDream's images. They were a message, a warning. Someone or something was trying to tell us something about what was happening in that facility, and they were using open source AI as their messenger. But who was sending the message and why? The investigation is far from over. We've only scratched the surface of this digital mystery, a mystery that could have profound implications for the future of artificial intelligence and perhaps humanity itself. I need to know who Athuria really is and what they want us to see. The silence isn't over. It's just beginning.